Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Around the Table GTA. We are pushing that consistent flow, and that's part of the topic. But the topic today is, or I could say tonight, because I'm doing this episode right before bed, is urgency. And that's why I kind of clarified the right before bed situation. I'm the type of person that it's the last couple of hours that I'm awake where my mind starts really turning. So I end up staying up late because all of the things that I could have been thinking about or just haven't really thought about on the forefront starts to kind of come out. My work is very mentally taxing. So that's why recently I've been going to the gym, and I could go to the gym no problem. I could do 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours after work because a lot of my work is figuring things out, making sure things work out, and using my brain to just kind of get through the rest of the day and try to soften any burdens that we walk into. When we have a smoother day, then I feel more energetic in my mind, if that makes sense. Just basically having more will to do stuff. I've been recently playing more Hearthstone, even though I've been going to the gym. I've been going to the gym 3 weeks now. No excuses, no breaks, and slowly focusing on what I want to do there. And that urgency there, it's been more urgency because people that I'm surrounded with wanted to start getting into shape, and don't want to say that I'm a follower, but at the same time, when you do things as a group, it's easier to be successful, right? There's that old term that I've used in a lot of my older episodes where if you want to go fast, you do it by yourself. But if you want to go far, you do it with friends. One of my friends who was working out with me not broke, but like he fractured his finger. Basically, he got injured, right? And despite him getting injured within the first 2 weeks of us working out, he's still consistently going. And sometimes we're pushed to a point where certain things have to be urgent. A lot of my pauses have been due to either distraction or craziness in life, and I've been following up with other things that have been distracting me but also motivating me. And even though the common views on this is 5 views, the main core people, the 5 view gang, always come up with ideas to kind of reignite that flame, right? Urgency is something that a lot of people sleep on because you need to be urgent before it becomes destructive. I've been drowning a lot with a lot of the things that I've been dealing with. Maybe in a later episode, I'll go a little bit deeper in that, but I'm the type of person that urgency hits me in waves. I could be getting the message right away and going super hard and then doing nothing, or like my usual self, when it's like the last 3 5 days or something, I could get so much done. It's crazy. I think I've talked about the marathon. If I didn't talk about the marathon, maybe I'll do a marathon episode. I did a half marathon this year, and just to cut some of the story out, I got injured a couple of weeks out, and I never ran that full distance. I only ran, I think, a max of 10 to 12K before I actually did the full marathon. And it shows you that procrastination does not help, right? But even if you have a routine and you have that set goal far into the future, or however far into the future, once you put that framework in, once you get your body moving, once you start imagining yourself at the level that you want to be, when it comes time to get closer to that view, that goal, that dream, you're going to instinctively get everything in check. You know, all the lines are going to align and you're going to see, what should I do? Should I do A or should I do B? When I did the marathon, like I said, 3 weeks, basically no training. Why? Because if you get injured and you try to get back to that same pace where you were, you might completely re-injure yourself. I'm not paying for a half marathon just to hurt myself permanently for life, just because I'm going to be ashamed of the goal time that I got. I didn't have a great time, but the fact that I was able to do it motivated me more to do another one potentially. And also all the people in my life that found out that I did a half marathon were very shocked, right? If you look at me at a glance, you don't think that I could go that far, right? I'm a sleeper build, and I think especially when I'm at work, I dress a certain way so I don't look as fit as I actually am. And even when I'm out of shape, I'm in better shape than most people. But that's not the point. The point is that getting to your goals, it requires a level of urgency. You need to know what you need to cut out in your life and what to hard focus on. Recently, I've hit certain game goals, so I haven't touched a game, right? There's a lot of games now, they use a battle pass system, and it drives you back to the game because you want to get all the prizes and the little trinkets and the exclusive stuff. But how important is that in the long run of your ultimate goals? And I like using the term ultimate goals because it just shows you that there's always something bigger at the end of the tunnel, right? And every day we do little things to sacrifice what we truly want or where we really want to go. Someone at my workplace got their dream car recently, and I might ask them if they want to do a podcast episode on it. Probably should. And how did they get to that point? They were really into that car. I don't know how much the car is worth. I'm not a car guy, but I don't know what else they did, right? If you saw one of my first podcast episodes, I had someone who was able to get a down payment on a house within 8 months because they didn't want to be renting with a child on the way, and they worked 3 jobs for 8 months. And when you have a plan, when something is urgent, sometimes I could say that you kick into hyperdrive, or it's something where you have like a supreme focus where nothing else matters, or how do I make a majority of the things in my life all hone into this one big goal, right? One of my reasons for starting to work out is more people depending on me and pushing me to help them stay focused, right? And I'm the type of person, I could take on a lot of tasks, but I do get distracted easily. But when I am secure, then I have everything focused and I could get there. And with how life is, with how the internet is, with how easily distracted we are, it's easy to get lost. But we have to pull in that urgency. We need to put in that focus, and we need to take some time off away from everybody, right? Or have a time where you could be surrounded with people who truly motivate you, or people who see your vision, or even people who just make you feel comfortable. Recently, I haven't been that okay. Like I said earlier in the episode, I've been dealing with a lot. So for me, I'm not the type of person to hide how I feel. You look at me, you'll know, oh, I'm in a good mood. I'm in a bad mood. I'm sad. I'm angry. Because how I think about those things is, why would I waste energy trying to hide these emotions, right? Like, I'm not a father yet. So maybe hiding some of those emotions will be better impact for dealing with children to an extent. But if I'm dealing with someone who's a lot more sentient or understanding, they could know how to act around me if I'm in a bad mood, or if I'm in a good mood, or if I'm in a sad mood. A lot of people don't really know how to console people. Everybody has a different way of grieving and even dealing with situations. So it's always great to know the type of person that you're around, because when you don't take the time to be urgent and like listen to people, that's how a lot of people make certain things worse. Some people, they want you to be there. Some people, they want to be alone. Some people, they want you to just be in the vicinity. Some people want you to constantly check up on them because they don't know how to sit in silence. Either way, when you are in whatever type of mood, when you are in whatever type of vision or task that you're at, you need to see what is the most urgent. Some people are good with notebooks, some people are good with digital notepads and stuff like that. Find what works for you and make it urgent. Make things urgent, because when you look at things as a limited time opportunity, kind of like how video games and even like fast food does it only for a limited time. When you start thinking about life like that, it could solve a lot of your problems, right? I saw a post from one of my favorite creators, I Am City 2, and he was just talking about how he's saved a lot of time by not arguing with people anymore. And there's a lot of different things that you learn as you get older, but I think you could speed up wisdom by not only interacting with a lot more people, but immersing yourself in a lot of different cultures. I know here in Canada, some people make a mockery of the term diversity is our strength, but at the same time, there are occasions where it is very strong and it is impactful, because when you deal with so many different ethnicities, different types of people, whether it's their religion, their race, their sex, a lot of these hard topics that people don't like really talking to, it helps you learn a lot more. It makes you more adaptable, and it can help you also recognize certain patterns, right? I was discussing with someone at work where I was talking about why our area is always prepared for all of the craziness that comes in our workplace, especially when things get super busy. And why is it that we always recover, especially my area, or even I could say our whole shift as a whole? And I told them that some of the keys are communication, right? Letting people be their true selves, while even letting certain things go as is, right? It's hard being in charge and dealing with a lot of people. Recently, we've been training a bunch of people, and every once in a while, since I have a big team, we need people to help out. And when the people help out, they realize what we deal with every single day. And it's not as easy as we make it seem. But ultimately, it's being able to see different patterns in life, whether it's at work, whether it's with your friends, whether it's with your relationships. If you're always getting a certain result, there should be a point in time where if you're doing something, you should be able to see what may or may not happen next. And I'm not saying that you can do this for everything, and I'm not even advising to do this with everything, because if you do this with everything, you might stop a potential whatever from happening that could be good for you. But if you're going into a dark place, if you're getting ahead of yourself, if you're being a little bit too silly or frivolous, you should be able to see where you're heading. Oh no, I'm getting into this habit. Or, oh wow, I'm in that mode where I'm very productive. How did I put myself into this? And how can I do this more? If that's your goal. Oh, I've been a lot more relaxed. What have I changed in my life? It's very smart to act on these things urgently so you could kind of develop the way that you live in a way where you're most productive, or you can hone in what you really want to do. Whether it's like, I want to be very productive today, this is what I need to do, or I'm in a bad mood. How can I get out of this before it affects me? I'm happy, and I know that sometimes I'm a little too much for people. How do I calm myself down? The urgency of control of yourself is really great. Control is often seen as a negative word in a lot of today's views, whether that's merely online or when people are defensive, but we all need to learn how to control certain things in our life. And we also need to be able to let go of things that we know that we can't control. And learning to deal with that sooner than later can help you in so many ways that if I was to start talking about it, I know that this could easily be an episode that is an hour or two long. But with that being said, thank you guys for checking this out. I hope that you use more urgency in your life. And I hope that whatever you're struggling with, you're going to get through it soon, right? We don't get challenges that we're not able to handle. And like my older episodes, if you are having a hard time, use your foundations. Your foundations might be your faith. It might be your friends. It might be just small little goals that help you build yourself up to the great person that you're going to be. But if something is urgent, don't ignore it. It's urgent for a reason. It's popping up for a reason. If it's a pattern, it could be that something is trying to show you that it's time for you to change, or it's time for a change, or it's time that there is going to be change and you're going to have to wake up and deal with it. There's one person at my workplace, we always talk about hot topics. And when I say hot topics, it's stuff that people aren't really comfortable talking about. It's funny that they stayed like 15 minutes overtime just to deal with it. And I let them know that they're not getting paid the extra time, but the conversation was great. So I would say, even like, if there's something you're going to try to change this week, is talk to someone who doesn't really agree with you, right? Or talk to someone who you think is a little bit out there. You might learn something. You might get a new perspective, and you might see that sometimes the things that we're looking for are where we're avoiding certain things. So hopefully you guys check out the next episode. Remember, if it's urgent, start it, and don't be afraid of checking things out. Anyways, have a nice night, day, wherever you are, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.